Hey guys, it's Lemon here and welcome back to another Wild Horse Island video. So you guys, I painted a Monarch Percheron onto a horse model. So this one was definitely a challenge. As you can see, there's quite a bit of detail on the Monarch Percheron. This is Honey Glow, by the way, in case you haven't met her. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So this is the Percheron horse model that we are going to be using. The brand is Terra, and then I'm also sitting outside for this because it was just a lovely day. These are the colors of paints that I'm going to be using in addition to white. Now the first step is to do a white base coat so that all the other coats and details can go on nicely, since it would be a bit difficult to paint orange onto black and you might not be able to see it. And then this horse model here, since it was a darker color, I had to do multiple coats of white to make it good. But here is the base coat all finished. Next it was time to do the orange. Now I had a darker orange and kind of a yellowy orange color, so I mixed those two together to get this shade, and I think it matches up pretty good with the original Monarch Percheron color. I had a picture of the Percheron pulled up on the side, and then the Monarch Percheron had both that darker orange as well as an almost yellow color, so I went ahead and did both and kind of did the bulk of it, that first orange, and then went ahead and did some highlights on the face and the neck and then down towards the bottom of the Percheron with that lighter yellowy color like how it is in game. I went ahead and did the ears as well as a couple second coats because the paint was smearing a little bit. You could see a little bit of the darker shade underneath, but overall it wasn't super noticeable. So here is what my horse looked like after I finished painting its orange coat, and then I left the lower legs white because I was going to paint it black anyways. Speaking of which, here's me doing that step now. I went ahead and painted each of the legs black, and then I didn't really do the orange to black fade ombre thing because I just didn't really feel like doing that. So this is what we've got for the legs. I left the hooves blank since I was going to go back and do a tan color for them. Next, it was time to go in with the detail. I wasn't really sure where to start with the detail on the Monarch Percheron, so I thought that the butterfly wing near the back would be the easiest since I could kind of gauge where it was based on the horse model's shape. So I went ahead and did that to both sides, and I think that I got the general outline of it not too bad. Next, it was time to do the other part of it. Now, this one, it was difficult to gauge where it was, but I started just by doing a basic outline of where the structures of it were, and then once I started piecing it together, it wasn't as bad. And then once I got to filling it in, it was getting definitely easier. It's definitely not perfect, but I don't think it's too bad. Next, it was time to do the details of the little back wing. Now, this one was a bit of a struggle. I definitely made the lines too thick, as you can see here, but we're working with what I can do, so that's what I did there. After I finished this, I had to go ahead and do the same thing all over again on the other side. Now, this side was not really going as good as the other side was. I made like the little top third of the butterfly wing too small, as you can see, but there wasn't really much going back. But this one I did make the lines thinner, which was better on the side wing of the Percheron, but this is what the initial part of the detail work ended up looking like, and then here is the other side. I took a break after I finished that, and then I moved indoors here, and now I was going to go ahead and go in with the white dots. Now, the first time I did this, they were kind of misshapen, so I just decided to paint over it and we would deal with that later. To do the dots, I was using the back of the paintbrush, so I grabbed a different paintbrush and I decided to do the white dots on the back wing. So this is how these were turning out. They definitely were not perfectly circle, but you know what, that's okay. It could be worse. This is what we've got going. Next, I did the front wing dots here, and I was actually pretty happy with how these were turning out. I think it's because they were kind of meant to be bigger than the other ones that they looked a bit better, and then I made some smaller ones at the top there. Next, I did the dots that were on the top of the Percheron, as you can see here, and then I did the other side of the front wing dots like this. Next, I went ahead and did some touch-ups to the black coat of various places on my Monarch Percheron, as you can see here. Then I did a couple more big dots for the top, and then I went in with a toothpick and did a bunch of little mini tiny dots, which I think really brought the dotting look together. Then I did the back wing dots of the other side. Now these dots got very off of the black line, but I did not really feel like fixing it, so this is what we've got going with the other side. And then I went ahead and did the face dots, first dotting it with a toothpick so that I got the right spot, then going in with the back of a paintbrush, and then I also did around the eye since there was some whiteness there as well, and then I also dotted the other half of the face. I did the front dots again, this time with a different back of a paintbrush, and I think that these turned out pretty good. I didn't have enough room to fit 6 dots in, so we only did 5, and then I went ahead and did the mini dots next to it, and I'm pretty happy with how these ones turned out. I realized I forgot a detail, which is a little black swirl that goes around near the top of the Percheron's neck, so I went ahead and did that just like so, and then I went in and painted the Percheron's eyes, which really brought life to the Percheron here. It had some white blank eyes, and painting it in just made it so much better. It was time to do the ombre mane, so I started by doing this yellowy color as you can see here, and then I went in with a yellowy orange for the next layer, and then the orange as you can see. And then after I finished that, I mixed up a kind of brownish color to kind of fade into the black, and I went ahead and put that on. And then once done that, we went ahead and did the black, as you can see here, to kind of ombre it all in together. Now after I finished the initial layers, I went ahead and kind of added in some more details. I thought it was not really looking very ombre-like, so I added some random strands here and there to make it try and look more natural. Like a natural ombre. I wasn't exactly sure how to do that on the horse here, but this is how it was turning out. As you can see, I kind of blended the black up a bit more, blended the yellow and the orange together a bit more, and then after that I went ahead and finally went in with the tan for the hooves. So I painted each of the hooves a tannish color, and then I did a little bit of a light yellow to the other side of the mane, and then I continued on with the hooves. I went in with some black details since I did get a bit out of the lines when I was doing the tan, and then I went back and forth with that for a bit, as well as did some extra touch-ups to the mane just to try and make it look a little bit better. And then yeah, let me go ahead and show you the results. So here is what my finished Monarch Percheron ended up looking like. I'm actually pretty happy with it. I think it looks pretty close to what the original Monarch Percheron looks like, although a bit more messy, obviously, since I painted it. But this is what it looked like. There's the mane and the tail, there's all the side details and all the little dots, and I think it came together pretty nicely. Anyways, that is all for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching it and seeing me paint the Monarch Percheron onto a horse model. So yeah, subscribe for more Wild Horse Islands content, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Goodbye, everybody.